Well, hello everybody and welcome to another vlog. Today has been the wettest day since the Ark floated. We are in Tavistock and it's been, well, we arrived yesterday at the Auto Trail Rally in Tavistock down in Devon, and although the countryside is beautiful, it's been raining since we made yesterday's video, and we're out for a walk with Pippin. It's literally been raining since we got back from that walk, all day, all night, and all day today. We've managed just to get out to the shop. It's taken a little break in the rain. It's been sort of on and off all day, but every time we opened the door it was raining again. So we really haven't done anything today. I've been twiddling around on Facebook pretty much the whole day, interacting with other people in the Auto Trail Owners Club, chatting about club stuff and you know, the upcoming AGM that is going to be held at oh, I've forgotten where that's going to be. Cheltenham, that's where it's going to be. We're going to go to Cheltenham on another Auto Trail rally, and they hold the AGM there as well. So what's been happening lately? Well, as you might know if you've watched the last few videos, I've got to go and have an MRI scan on my head. It's because of this ear, my left ear, which is, it feels completely blocked, sort of right in there, and I'm sort of blocked all through there, and my hearing is really down on that side. It's so bad. On occasion I am completely deaf in that ear, can't hear a thing, nothing. Mostly it's about 50 to 60% hearing loss across the board, and very profound hearing loss at the top end of the sort of sound spectrum, so in the higher ranges, 4,000 to 8,000 hertz. If that makes any sense. I also have tinnitus, which is, I get about 3 or 4 different sounds, ringing sounds, whistling sounds in both ears. Sometimes they're different and sometimes they pulsate with my pulse, with my heartbeat, and I think that's all sort of tied together. So the MRI scan, I've been doing a bit of investigation on what that MRI scan might be all about, because I've been asked by you guys out there, thank you for your concern. I've been asked, you know, what's the MRI scan for? Do they know what the hearing loss problem is? You know, what's going on? So the MRI scan is on the 8th of October at 8 AM. So I've got to be there really early, and apparently I've been reading up about what an MRI scan is, what it does, how long it takes, and depending on what part of the body, how much of the body, what the area is, it can take from 15 minutes to a couple of hours to complete an MRI scan. So I'm thinking, because it's just my ear, so that part of, maybe they'll do my whole head, so it might take, you know, 15-20 minutes, I guess, to do the scan. So I'm going to have my head in a sort of donut machine, which will do a 3D sort of scan. Does it in sort of X-ray sort of slices, if you like, and then builds up a picture. That then goes off to an MRI scan reading expert, somebody who knows how to interpret those MRI scans, and then they will write a report and send that back to my consultant, who will then see me on the 14th of November. That appointment's already booked. So the 14th of November, I will go back to the consultant and they'll decide what to do next. Probably hearing aids, although I don't know, having read about the MRI scan and why they would send you for an MRI scan for the type of hearing loss that I've got and the specific circumstance, it is really rare. But I've got a sensorineural hearing loss problem, which is can be caused by loud noises or working environments in your past. You know, so I've worked in the printing industry, standing next to big printing machinery, very loud, clattery things going on. The finishing areas where paper folding machines made massively sharp banging noises. And back in the sort of 70s, there were no ear defenders provided, so you know, I guess that's where my hearing loss actually started. But there's also something called a vestibular schwannomer. I can't remember what it is, but anyway, it's a schwannoma, I think, a vestibular schwannoma, which is a benign tumour on the hearing nerve, which is apparently the 8th cranial nerve connected to the brain. So it's could be essentially a brain tumour on my ear. I'm hoping it's not that, because it's quite a major operation if they decide to do an operation, and it's a prolonged sort of thing to investigate or keep an eye on. They have to do multiple MRI scans over time and see if it's growing, reducing, whatever it's doing. So so I'm hoping it's not going to be that. I'm hoping it's some sort of little infection that I can take some drugs or nose and ear sprays for and get that sorted out. So I'm hoping, you know, that it's going to be good. But that's what the MRI scan is for. We don't really know that much. The hearing tests I've had, both at Specsavers and at the NHS consultancy hospital, produced exactly the same results. Basically, you know, the NHS hearing tests were a waste of time to do because they'd already been done, and they came out with exactly the same results and then said, oh, you've got hearing loss. Yeah, okay. So the shocking part for me was when I spoke to the consultant, his parting comments were, well, I don't think there's anything we can do for you. You know, we'll send you for an MRI scan. Maybe that's their way of saying, look, you know, the prognosis might not be great. You know, it may be that. But there you are. So getting back to motorhome stuff, you might have seen, because I posted on Facebook and other places, that we, for the first time ever since we've owned this auto trail, we had somebody sort of pull out in front of us and then decide to like really slow down. So I had to really press the brakes on a bit sharp, and we had the drawer on the side of the bed, because it faces forward, it shot out and all the stuff all over the floor, and it broke the front off the drawer. But let me take you over and show you what that looks like and why I think that fell out. So here we are in the bedroom, and this is where I sleep here, and this is my wardrobe. You will have seen that before. Wardrobe still full of shirts and coats, and all of the stuff that's normally in the drawer, which is here, up on top, because I've not really put it all back yet. Now, this little bit here is a lock that is supposed to, and let me show you how that works. So maybe you can't see it properly there. So when I press that button in, that little tag comes up, and there's a piece of metal under there, this piece, that bit is supposed to lock into, but notice it's locked now, and it doesn't actually lock. So if I pull that out, you can see it's still locked, and it doesn't actually lock into place. Now, what happened is that was locked because we check it like 2 or 3 times before we set off. But with the weight of all the stuff in there, it's shot out, gone past its stay and fallen out, and this whole front section, the front of the drawer, actually came off because the screws in here that go through that way into this sideboard actually pulled out of the front, because you'll see that screw there is so close to the front of that board. It wasn't much wood to keep it in place, and the same happened on there. Now they didn't come right out, they just sort of tilted out. So I took the whole thing apart, and you might notice just in there's some excess glue. So I've popped glue all down the inside of there, on the bottom section, on the other side, plus into the screw holes, and I stood that up on a hard surface, placed a weight on top of it, and that is now probably stronger than it's ever been in its entire life. So that was another little sort of running repair that I had to make. You know, when we got to Tavistock yesterday, I had to sort of take that apart, you know, because all the stuff, and I keep lots of little bits and pieces in there, like I don't know why I keep cufflinks. I think I've got one shirt that takes cufflinks, and I've got 3 pairs of cufflinks. I don't know why. You know, the stuff you keep that you don't really need. I had 2 torches in there. I don't know why I've got 2. I only need 1. And, you know, lots of other bits and pieces. There's the few bits of medicine for my skin conditions, my scalp treatment, and other bits and pieces. I get a bit of soreness under here, and it's a sort of skin condition I've had forever. Used to get it behind my ears, still do a bit when I was a child, and that was really, really bad. They didn't have the real good ointments and medicines back then in the sort of early 60s, so I really suffered. It felt like my ears were dropping off at times. So deeply cut from the skin condition. Anyway, so all those bits and pieces sort of went all over the floor, drawer front broken off, but it's now fixed. The thing I've got to do now is that little plate that hangs down where the drawer lock drops into and locks up behind. That's how it's supposed to work. There's a little plate of metal. The drawer lock comes in, and when you press that lock, that goes up and it stops it from flying out. So what I've got to do, I can't change the level of the lock at all. So I think it's always been like that. So I've got to put a little spacer in to drop that plate down. I've got to get in there with a little screwdriver, take it off, put a spacer in. I don't know what I'm going to use, because it doesn't need much, I don't think. It only needs like 3 or 4 mil just to give it a little bit of a grab, and you know, get that in there. So, you know, I'm probably going to do that tomorrow. if I can, if it's dry enough for me to go out and find something in the garage. I know I've got some little bits of aluminium that might suit to go in there, so I'm probably going to do that, and get, you know, cut off a little bit of aluminium, put a couple of drill holes in it, and if, you know, if one's not enough, I'll use another one, and then, you know, because the worktop, or the surface on next to the bed, is like that thick, so I can use sort of longer screws to hold that in if, you know, if need be. But you know, it's one of those sort of problems that motorhomers, I see on Facebook. We're all complaining about the quality of the motorhome that we've paid tens of thousands of pounds for, you know, and even those that are over 100,000, they're still the same quality construction, i.e. there's a lack of quality in them, in that the checking and the quality control after they're built is not good enough, and the quality of materials is pretty low. You know, it's saddening really, but every motorhome I've seen has the same issue. And if you look across all of the sort of groups and posts on Facebook and other places, you'll find that all motorhomes complain about their motorhomes. All motorhome owners complain about their motorhomes being, well, rubbish. And having bought the Auto Trail, and you know, swapped the Heimer, which wasn't that great. You know, we went for the Heimer because we thought that was like the bee's knees in quality, not knowing that Heimer actually have a level above that called a Niesman Bischoff, and they look, I mean, they're twice the money, and they do appear to be really, really good quality, but you never know, you know, because they're being made in the same factory by the same people that don't care about the cheaper ones. So if they don't care about the cheaper ones, why should they care about the expensive ones? Well, they won't. So, you know, we've got the Auto Trail. We're members of the Auto Trail Owners Club. And I've sort of been spending the day on Facebook chatting to people about the Owners Club and Auto Trail, and, you know, the fact that, you know, if you're in an Owners Club and you've got a couple of thousand members and you've got a relationship with the manufacturer through that club, maybe the club should be a bit more vocal about the quality. And I think that's probably, you know, some of the questions I'm maybe going to ask of people at the AGM is like, what are we doing to push Auto Trail towards better quality and better service from the dealer network? Because bear in mind, Auto Trail have the power to say to dealer network, you're not doing well enough, you know, you need to sort these things out, and we'll help you to do that, but you need to get it done. And I don't think anybody's doing that. You know, and owners clubs and groups that band together have that ability to do that. They can put pressure on, especially through, you know, through social media, videos, Twitter, Facebook, and even sort of LinkedIn, Instagram, showing all that thing. But if you're doing it as a group and asking direct questions of those manufacturers and dealers, you can really have an impact. And I've had personal experience of that, with, you know, helping other people to sort of make a bit of a song and dance about the bad service that they've got. Note the Inn on the Beach down at Hayling Island, where we gave them a bad but honest review, and I don't know whether they've changed, but it certainly had some effect. So there you are. So that's what I'm hoping will happen with the Auto Trail Owners Group. We'll put pressure back onto Auto Trail to improve and stop tinkering with a great product and just make it better. I mean, the latest Comanche has some design changes that, I don't know, they couldn't never have spoken to Auto Trail owners. They've just changed it for the sake of making some updates. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough for this this little vlog. I'm going to see you again tomorrow. But if this is your first time here, we are the Happy Travellers. Normally, me, Steve, Wendy, my wife, and our dog Pippin on camera. But if you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you want to follow our journey as we travel around the UK and Europe, living full-time in our motorhome, which is an Auto Trail Frontier Comanche. Have a look back in some of the videos. You'll see the tours and get a feel for what the van's like. We'll be doing more of those as we go on. And coming up pretty soon is the fitting of the new batteries, which I have in the van, but I don't have all the cables yet to fit them. Who knew how difficult it was going to be to get 3-foot long battery cables? I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye for now. Bye.